Hello friends. In this video, I am trying to explain the key difference between a callback and a promise. Now, as some of you might be thinking, promise is not just a syntactical sugar over callbacks. It is not created by the JavaScript community to make the code more readable. Uh, there is there is no sense in creating an entirely new feature just to improve the uh, hierarchical or nesting code structure of a callback. There is something more into it. Now, let's take the case of callback. So, I'm trying to explain this in a little more practical way. Hope it will help you all. So, we have a naughty kid, say Tom, and he loves to launch rockets. Now, this time, his intention is to send a rocket to space and capture good photos of Earth and send it to his teacher. Now, he first planned to write all the code on his own. Later, he understood that there is a third party library called jQuery. I'm taking jQuery just for an example, and I'm showing a picture of a thief. Not to say that jQuery is bad, but to explain the callback hell situation. Okay. So Tom understood that jQuery has a function called $.hx, and I can use that function to easily launch my rocket. Now he asked jQuery, so can you do it for me? jQuery said, of course I can. So what should I do after launching the rocket? jQuery asked. Tom said, if the launching is successful, then you need to send photos to my teacher. If it is not successful, you need to send an apology letter to my teacher. jQuery said, okay, of course, I can do it. So Tom prepared two functions, one for error handling, one for success handling, to the third-party library. So it's not about jQuery, it can be any third-party library or any code which you don't know. Now, later he found that the rocket launching was successful, but the teacher received an apology letter. So Tom checked with jQuery, what happened? Oh, there was a bug in our code and accidentally it called the error handler instead of success handler. Oh, that is bad. In another scenario, it can be something like the success handler is called multiple times. So cases like the Ajax function might be validating a credit card, and if it is successful, then make the payment. In that case, if the third-party library is calling the success handler multiple times, it can create problem. The credit card is charged multiple times, and all these situations obviously creates a hell-like situation, and that is actually callback hell. Basically, in case of callbacks, we are transferring the control. Tom is transferring the control to the third-party library, or we call it as inversion of control. Okay, so the JavaScript community, they sit around a table and discuss how can we solve this problem for the developers. They are facing a lot of issues because of this callbacks. Okay, so they came up with this idea called promise. So from now onwards, let the developers have the control. Okay, and let's create a promise object within ourselves. That's what JavaScript community decided. The JavaScript engine now have a promise constructor function. Now again, Tom is here. He needs to launch a rocket, and he's very happy about the new improvement of the promise object. And he approaches the promise object, and he's a very powerful guru. And he said, Guru, can you do it for me? Guru said, of course, just give me the function with all the steps to launch the rocket. And okay, Tom with his previous experience, and he now blindly believes the guru because he is directly inside the JavaScript engine, not any third-party library. He handed over the function to launch a rocket, and along with that, guru, take this error handler, take this success handler. Ah, guru said, no, no, no. This is not how I work. I work in a different way, and that is for your benefit. So, Tom told, so how is it? Guru told, you just give me a function which accepts two arguments. One is resolve, one is reject. It is something like two buttons for me. If the rocket launching is successful, then I will press the green button, which means resolve, otherwise the red button, which means reject. And based on that, you can do whatever you want. Tom said, I am sitting in my home. How can I know that whether you press the green button or the red button? Then the guru said, oh, I forgot one thing. I am instantly giving you a promise object, which is an instance of the constructor promise function. And when I press the green button, then the green light will blink. When the red button, the red light will blink. So you can either call the error handler or the success handler, whatever you want, after knowing this information. Well, Tom said, that is pretty cool. Now I am calling the error or success handler, and that means I'm not transferring any control to you. That sounds good. Yes, the guru said, yeah, it is good. And there is one more thing. Even if you are writing in the function, in the steps to follow, the like if you're telling me press the green button 5 times, and it won't happen. I, as a promise constructor function, sitting within the JavaScript engine, I will resolve it only once, and that is another promise from my side. So that will solve the problems like charging the credit card multiple times and all these things scenarios. Okay, so this is the very major advancement in asynchronous programming, and the contribution from the JavaScript community with respect to promise. So I hope now you got a major difference between how the callbacks and promise works. Thank you all.